Okay, welcome everyone to the Tuesday, September 24th, 2019 Working Group Component Standard meeting. Bit of a smaller group today. We'll jump right in to Alex's topic. Let me share the notes. Enabling strict serializers in components by default.
Yep, that was the one I just mentioned towards the end last time. Lee, I was talking with Lee, and he suggested, I could submit some patches to the components, enabling the strict serializers. I have opened two PRs. Those are the ones which are linked in the issue. Tests are already passing. I think they're like in review phase. So basically the idea is to just get in the PRs and then wait for people to review it. It will always take a while, and then I can work on the whole YAML multi-dog serializer thing. I only have one question really in this regard. If you don't have anything else, I can imagine that it would be, some more drastic user facing change. I mean, if that gets merged and people have a config with, I don't know, some wrong field, starting the component would fail, right?
Yes.
So I can imagine there will be some people say, no, maybe we don't merge this. This is too drastic. Is there any previous discussion where this has come up that we really want this, or that we can point to and say, hey, we've discussed this before?
I don't know if there's been a previous discussion about that. Like, in general, like somebody will probably bring it up, and we just have to argue with them a little bit. I think there have been previous discussions where someone said, well, like somebody could be using it by accident, but ultimately, like if what they're doing is the wrong thing, like it's creating future risk, right? Like maybe their value in there doesn't have a meaning today, but could at some point in the future. Then all of a sudden it breaks them in the future, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
okay.
There's a clear reason we wouldn't use a strict serializer for something like the API, where you have version skew, and you have to be able to deal with unrecognized clients. Because your API server might be newer than your client. But in the case of just reading an application config in, you are your own API server, so there's no version skew.
Like in
Rather,
theory,
it's like when we push a new API server, it's the canonical definition of the API. So,
I mean, are there any plans to version these kind of configuration files? Could this come up in the future?
So the component config schema is versioned, right?
I would suspect that people would be a little bit angry about this, especially if we actually try to retrofit it on old versions of configs. But given the fact that most of the component config versions are actually alpha right now, with the exception of the kubelet, we can basically retrofit it always.
Yeah, and I think I hope it's clear, and I think it is clear that our schemas are not defined to be anything more than the fields in the Go struct for that version. So.
Yeah, but basically we changed the way this struct is parsed and basically serialized. So it may lead to some changes, but I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think the risk is acceptable in this case. And I'm mostly basing that on the fact that if somebody has a field in there that is an unrecognized field, it's most likely like they were trying to set an actual field and made a typo, and they just don't know because they never got an error.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think this is fine. Alex, do you need any help pushing through the PRs that you opened?
Not for now. I think the kubeproxy one hasn't gotten any review yet other than Lee. Kubescheduler already has some people assigned to it. I'll try to get the other two through this week and just see how it goes. I mean, if like in a week or so there's no action on it, I'll probably come back to it and mention it, and then we can figure out who we can approach for that.
Okay. Yeah, let me know if you need any help on Kubelet. It's been a while since I worked on the config loading in there, but I think there are a few different places it loads that you might have to modify. And then also if you're doing dynamic config, you'll want to make sure that like the error from the strict serial that fails to decode propagates up like to the config status correctly. So let me know if you have any questions.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing the kubed last because I thought it would probably be the most complex. And yeah, I'll look into it, and if there's anything, I'll just let you know.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks so much. That was the main thing on our agenda. I am going to send out an email later today to the broader community, just trying to request more contributors to come to our working group. So Lee and I kind of workshop that over the weekend. And then we will have a presentation, just a brief presentation about the working group at the community meeting on Thursday.
Ah, cool. I wanted to ask, is anyone coming from the working group or planning to come to next year's KubeCon Europe? I know it's still a bit.
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, I know Lee and I are both going to San Diego this year, and then I haven't even thought about the one after that yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works with the tracks. I mean, I was this year was my first KubeCon, and they have this contributor track. Maybe we can do something there.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be good for I think one of us to go. Like it would be good to have like a talk or something that we could put together and then submit for KubeCon Europe. And then that would give us a great excuse to get our companies to expense the travel.
I'll most likely be there next year. I have also a couple of tiny updates. The first one is I'll probably start working either this or next week on a component config validator command line interface, like a standard interface to be implemented throughout all components. And the other one is I'll try to show you some draft around the V1 Alpha 2 for kubeproxy, either next week or the week after that.
Yeah, that's great to see that pick back up.
What was Ross? What was the first point? Some interface?
Yeah, basically the structure, and probably I'll pack it off into PRs and start sending them.
Okay.
Great. Yeah, and then if you that's already like plenty on your plate, but if you do have time, I think it would be interesting to see like another cap to pick up where we left off on like looking at instance specific config or platform config, like ideas around specific stuff.
Yeah, I'll try to do that, but I'm not sure whether I'll manage to send a cap into this cycle, simply because I have also a bunch of work around KubeADM.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think the other two things are higher priority, since those are, the middle one is work that's approved, and then the first one, we need to see kind of a prototype. So
yeah,
sounds good. You guys have anything else?
Nope. So far for me.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks so much. You get back a few minutes of your life. Guys, have a good day.
Okay, cool. Bye.
See you, folks. Bye.